Okay, today I will be talking to you about hanging from a bar. Hanging from a bar. Literally one of the most easiest and simplest things you could do for your overall health, posture, um, just mind over matter and just development of yourself. Like for maybe I think when I was like 16 or 17, I started doing it regularly. I've done it off and on over the years, and with hanging from a bar, it's probably been the most influential thing or habit um, related to gym and training and working out that has worked the absolute best for me. There's a lot of working out and training advice out there, and I think for me the most influential one was hanging from a bar. And when it came to doing it consistently, it kind of just felt like I wasn't really doing it consistently, even though I was. It was like one of those innately produced habits that you've just done so many times, or it just felt natural, where you don't really have to try, and it just kind of falls into your routine, or your your day-to-day life. And it wasn't really that stressful for me to add into what I would be doing in the day. And so um, you can start with the wide grip, you can start with the close grip, you can do somewhere in the middle. It really doesn't matter as long as you do it. In my opinion, I think the best is uh, shoulder width, about shoulder width, maybe a little bit more um, inside of shoulder width, slightly, because you want more pronation rather than supination whenever you're hanging naturally. So, at least that's my opinion. I don't really know all the science and the hoopla about it, but that's what I would recommend. Let's say 1 to 2 minutes, really 1 to 2 minutes a day, hanging from a bar. You can start with uh, doing the actual bar, like an actual bar where your whole body is off the ground, or you can do something like this, a door bar, where, um, or you can do either one, but the idea is the beginner level, the utmost basic level is your feet in front of you with your knees bent. The second level is your feet behind you with your knees bent. And then the third level, which is the most basic form of hanging from a bar, dead hanging, is with your whole body off the ground and you're being held up by your hands. And it trains your grip like crazy. But here's the thing, you want to end on a strong note. So you don't want to feel like you're hanging by your fingertips and then, be done, or fall off the bar. You want to stop whenever you are strong. You don't want to stop when you're weak. You want to stop when you're strong. And so elongating that out for the longest time is obviously the most preferred or viable option. in my opinion, you can test it, and as soon as you go weak, that's when you stop, for a test, right? To like see where you're at. Um, and that just gives you a gauge for next time, to see where you will um, end up wanting to get off the bar. Um, it's super good for your posture, for your overall just like gait. I mean, it sounds silly, but like your whole entire spine is being decompressed by the bar, and there's a uh, there's a notion out there that like you shouldn't hang from a bar, because it causes decompression of your spine. And yes, I do understand that, and um, there's a point where you want to use the bar, and there's points where you don't. Did I say that twice? You want to. There are times in your life when you want to use the bar, and there are times when you don't want to use the bar. The times when you don't want to use the bar is when you feel pain. um, it's hanging from a bar is a form of like therapy. It's a form of like stretch, relaxation, meditation, whatever you. Um, it's for your posture, for like recovery, for warming up. Uh, think of it like that. You don't want to use it as a working thing where you're like out in the sun doing hard construction work and your back hurts, for like 15 hours. You don't want to be in that scenario where you're in pain. you know, um, if you are, then you do other things besides hang from bar, and you can go look elsewhere on YouTube. But when you do want to hang from bar, is when any other time besides that, really, or just throughout the year you add it in sometimes. You don't have to add it in all the time, but it's good to add it in whenever you'd like. Um, like I said, it's one of the most influential habits I've implemented, um, and advice I've been given, gym wise, training wise, workout wise. And I think anyone and everyone would benefit from hanging from bar in some shape or form. But start off with your feet first in front of you, and then behind you, and then your whole body can hang from a bar. So there's 3 levels, like I said before. But yes, make sure that you take care of yourself and you do it right. And you can go look at other videos to see what other people say about it, because I believe that hanging from bar is literally the one of the best workout habits you can have for yourself throughout your whole life. And um, if you've taken nothing from the video, that's the one thing I would take from, is to do 1 to 2 minutes a day on a bar of some kind. And it's really good for like your scapula, because like we're not everyone, but I would say the majority of people are naturally like slouch the shoulders, and so they want to like get their shoulders out of the way, basically, and to um, get them out of the way of their posture. Um, so that's one aspect, and also it just makes you feel better. It makes you feel less groggy. Like I bet you some people, when they first start hanging from a bar, they would feel so exponentially better throughout the whole entire day and the days that they do it, because of the benefits it has on the shoulder, on the shoulder girdle, the scapula, all that. because the scapula works in such like in so many ways that it's such a confusing function to even like study and learn how it works. I hardly even know how it works. Um, and so by not really or by seeing that the scapula and how it functions and how your shoulder functions is complex, that tells you that it's really hard to put it into simple terms and to train the scapula and shoulder properly to get the best bang for your buck. And the most simplest way I can tell you how it works is to not tell you how it works and just tell you to do that. And really, I think all shoulder problems would really go away, to be honest with you. Um, and you must learn how to hang from your palm eventually. Eventually, you want to hang from your palm in between your thumb and your knuckles of your fingers. Eventually, right? Um, so you don't want to feel dense in your hands. You want to feel strong. So there's a difference from dense grip and a strong grip. Dense grip is where it feels awkward and it doesn't feel flush. It doesn't feel firm. It doesn't feel like there's words to it, but you may or may not experience what I'm trying to say based on how you've been living your whole entire life and like how you move, how you function, what you do throughout the day, and how you live, because everyone's posture is somewhat different. And so when you start to learn to hang from the crevice of your hand instead of your fingertips, so you can either hang from your fingertips, you can hang from your fingers, or you can hang from your palm. And your palm is stronger than your fingers. So you want, for every single exercise that you've ever even been taught or want to learn or have done, you want to learn how to use the bigger muscle. And you want the bigger muscles to take over naturally. You don't want to try to have them take over because that almost goes in the opposite direction of what you're trying to do. So you want to naturally use what you naturally use right now, and you want to think about and work towards building the right grip, the right grip. And I still don't have the right grip. My grip's changed through a lot. Yeah, I'm not the biggest guy, but like, you don't really need to be the biggest guy because I think it's just silly to like be super big and not be able to do basic things that you should be able to do. It's really important to be mobile, not like super flexible, but like move like a child, basically, instead of being confined to stiffness. And hanging from a bar is by far getting rid of all the stiffness that you may have or may think you have in your shoulders and your grip, your arms as well. And so I'll leave it at that and hang from a bar, people, because it will change your life. Oh, and one more thing, my website will be in the description, and I'll put a link to a pull-up bar of affiliate link pull-up bar in the description, as well as my website. And I'll see you next week.